So I hear you, and this is just a gentle pushback on kind of the idea underlying what I think you're saying. So the idea of showing we're there is part of what I'm talking about. It's like, and I don't mean this as an insult, but just it is what it is. It is like an ego-driven way of looking at it. It's like, I was there. I'm showing that I'm here and doing the thing, and that doesn't matter. They account for that. That's why we have so many police. That's why they're building all the cop cities, because basically, like, police are just a line item in controlling the obvious pushback that they're going to get. Now, I don't know the laws in Germany, so I can't even speak on that, but like all of the Western countries are taking a fascist turn. We legitimately got to stop caring whether they see that we're there, right? That's still a form of asking because it's a show of force without any use of power, and that's useless. And that underlines the overall point that Kwame Ture was making about mobilization versus organization. You can have a march with 1 million, 2 million, 3 million people, but unless that comes with actual action and organization, it is toothless and it's going to dissipate energy because of all the time that people had to take off to get there, all the planning that had to be done in service of that event, rather than in service of, in the end, the people. And a lot of well-meaning and the people who I respect tremendously and who know way more about politics than I do, so like I'm not going there with it, but I'm just submitting that the idea of just saying get out into the streets, get out in the streets to what end? What are you doing? Are you actually planning on doing something that I wouldn't say here? Because if not, then you're giving the police more overtime and getting yourself tired. And if you're not actually making connections and building infrastructure and setting up community and organizing the people in ways that can be duplicated for the long term, then it is not going to be effective for our goals. For real. Let me also say this though. I am not downplaying how important it is to sometimes just do a thing where you can see how many other people like agree with you, you don't feel as alone, and it gives you more strength to take that energy back into your day-to-day life. But a lot of the time that energy doesn't actually get brought back into the day-to-day lives of people. And what's more, these big parade marches end up feeding the capitalist system. It ends up being like a bonanza shopping day for anything along the parade route because people are just, well, they get thirsty. They got to buy something. They need another sign. They got to stop by Staples. Whatever it is, it ends up just feeding the machine. Because unless you have organized all these things beforehand that you are not going to contribute to systems while you're doing the protest, you end up just giving them a payday. I have a comrade who is much more an on the ground organizer than I will ever be, than I have like the stomach for as a human, who organizes and mobilizes and is like part of really effective shit because of that. Because they're not just doing one day things. They are consistently organizing, bringing people in, expanding the net, and keeping particular issues, right? They're mobilizing around the issues, but also organizing. And the two things can exist together, and they should if they do. But if you're going to do one or the other, it should be organizing. And to me, the words organizing and building community are essentially synonymous. The size of the community to me is irrelevant, but what you're doing is you're creating a group of people who care about each other, who are working together based on some value or other, and are looking to make change and understand that it's part of their lives. It's not just something you go do, it's something that's part of who you are. And the other people that you share these organization spaces with, these communities with, these people are part of your real life. They are like your family, but way better than a nuclear family because they are organized around values and around making the world better rather than just protecting that unit because it is that unit.